What's up, guys? Justin here, joined with Nate.
How's it going, everybody?
And welcome back to another installment of Black Series Bangers. Today, we're going to be covering the Scarif Stormtrooper, Squad Leader, the Private, the AT-ACT Pilot. This is sort of a Black Series Bangers first.
A lot of firsts on the bangers.
True, but we couldn't decide. We knew we wanted to do one on a Scarif Stormtrooper, but we just didn't know which one to pick. It was between the Squad Leader and the Private, because the Private has a wash on him. Mm-hmm. And the Squad Leader doesn't, but the Squad Leader comes with a uniquely sculpted weapon, so I was just like, let's just do all of them. Right. So basically, just jumping right into it.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. We love this figure because the sculpt still holds up today. This figure is from 2016, guys.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how back then this figure went super hard. Like, it was legitimately a great figure. And even now, kind of, getting used to it again and just feeling it out, still feels really nice. Really fun articulation on these figures, especially for the time. Thinking all the way back then, finally having a trooper that could truly aim down the sights, because before this, you could kind of do it with the Stormtrooper, but it looked a little weird.
Yeah,
it just didn't look quite as natural as this does. And you definitely could not do that with that old clone trooper body back then. Hell no.
We'd have to look at the catalog, but I feel like up to that point, this was the most well articulated trooper figure. A lot of that does have to do with the design, because it's not bulky. There's not huge armor plates for the shoulders.
Right.
So all it took was a fairly decent cut at the elbow. There's no butterfly joints. It's not double jointed, but it can still naturally hold its blaster and aim down their sights. It's unreal how natural you can make this figure look in an aiming pose.
Yeah.
Still to this day, I think it's one of the best just for that purpose.
Yep. It is just really fun to fiddle with. And like you said, the armor design really helps out with the articulation. Because, like we said, you can aim down the sights, and this figure, you straight up just get a 90 elbow. So it's not even like the elbows aren't even deep cut at this point. And you can still hit that pose.
It's just not hindered.
Yeah, and the head, having a nice decent space to move around and really get the full range of movement from the helmet.
Yeah,
is
you
also
could put the head way down too.
Right. Yeah, it's also something that you just didn't see at the time, really.
Yeah, and it's a shining example of why we are against removable helmets with painted faces underneath. It's I've never wanted Hasbro to regress, but with these clones and Stormtroopers, honestly, just go back to the ball joint system. You had much more range of motion every which way that we just don't get with the modern clone troopers.
Yep.
Especially with the chin sticking out on the clones. For troopers, honestly, just go back to ball joints. Seriously.
Yeah, I feel like if you want to do an unmasked head, unhelmeted head, just include an alt head. That's all we need, is just an alt head.
Yeah.
So just to specifically, I guess, talk about the Squad Leader, since I have him in my hands, the kind of pros and cons that we were talking about between this and specifically the Private. The Squad Leader has a unique blaster, which is always great to see. Even has a little bit of silver and orange paint on it.
Let's go.
So some nice detailing on it. The figure also has the unique comma as well. It has the longer, kind of more, drapey, clone trooper-esque kind of comma. It does have unique weathering. It doesn't have a wash on it like the Private does, but it does have unique photoreal applied weathering, but it still looks good. I think it's not bad for photoreal weathering. It serves its purpose.
You get the wash on the boots as well. Yeah. But that's why we wanted to include both figures in this video, because the Private, which was a Walmart exclusive, and then it also got an archive release. The Squad Leader was mainline, but the Private has a wash on the entire figure. It has a nice subtle wash, and it really brings out all of those sculpted details. It's heavier in some areas, like the torso piece, the chest armor, and it's just excellent. The helmet, there's a really big difference on the helmet with the wash. It's almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it definitely surprised me. It was not something I really feel like I ever noticed, like just having them on the shelves. I always just, I guess, kind of assumed they all had a wash, because even the good old AT-ACT pilot has a wash on this variant, and it looks great too. I mean,
it does.
The wash goes absolutely crazy on these figures, and especially on the white, it really pops out.
Yeah.
It's really, really nice looking, and it makes me miss washes more than anything, Justin.
Yeah. We miss our paint on our Black Series figure. So yeah, the sculpt, you know, detail-wise, it looks like it just jumped out of the screen. The articulation, especially for 2016, the fact that it still holds up today, absolutely insane. I would almost say this figure doesn't need a redo, because it does exactly what it needs to do. It's super dynamic.
Yep. I think you could totally squeeze this in the same category, in our opinion, as the Scout Trooper, where it is just a figure that continues to stand the test of time. You know, they did recently re-release this figure in Andor packaging with some minor variations.
Yeah.
We're not really talking about that one specifically on this.
They took away the wash, of course.
Yeah.
It's a modern Black Series release, but I still like the sculpt. And I'll take any iteration of it that they do, which they still need to do the captain. Hasbro randomly missed the captain. They just stopped doing the captain. They did the squad leader, the private, the AT-ACT, and the Andor one. But then we never got the captain, which I would absolutely love to get.
Oh man, if they did the captain, that would be so awesome to finally... I mean, maybe they give us Rogue One 10th anniversary wave. We finally get the captain. We finally get Photoreal Krennic.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. I mean, those would be two figures that I would pick up for sure. And yeah, I love the 3D printed tray.
Yep,
when it's murked in Mando.
Right, this is definitely more of a Mando setup here, but you know, we're just pulling the figure off the shelf.
Yeah.
Just pulling it straight off the shelf. So, yeah, this is a great trooper. I would love to see them finish out the team and even just use the same body.
Yeah, I love the...
That's okay.
Yep, I love the squad that we've been able to build because our local Meijer had them down to like $4.
Yep.
We bought a bunch of them, got some of the archive ones. So we each have pretty sizable squads of Scarif Stormtroopers. We absolutely love this figure, guys. What do you think? Do you love the Scarif Stormtrooper as much as we do? Would you consider this a Black Series banger? Whatever you're thinking, let us know in the comments down below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you are new. We are always talking about Star Wars The Black Series here on the channel. I'm Justin and I've been joined with Nate.
Take care, everybody.
And we will see you guys in the next video.